I feel like the Western culture is like, oh yes, sunscreen, very important. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the universe. I feel like you can tell when I'm filming in the morning because my voice is 10 octaves lower than it is normally. I try to film on the weekends and in the morning just because that's the time that I have. Again, I got an hour before church starts, so let's go. So today's video is why aren't cushion foundations a thing in America and in Western culture? I'm just so fascinated by Western culture, or the lack of things in Western culture. This is done with the products that Stylevana gifted to me. I've talked about them many times. They're a website that carries a lot of really great Korean products. Skincare, you have makeup, you have a lot of things that you can choose from, and they have kindly given me a code which you can use. You don't have to use, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I requested like, oh, is it cool if I try some cushion foundations? Because I have tried them in the past, but obviously here in America, they're not popular. I heard the Wet n Wild one got discontinued. I was actually interested in trying that, but I could never try it because it got discontinued. And then the one that I have is the M Cosmetics one, which I adore, and I think it has a similar feel to the Korean kind. So that's what we're going to be doing today, talking about why cushion foundations aren't a thing, trying some different cushions out. So I have actually 3 cushion foundations that I'm going to talk about. Obviously there's a lot more on the market, but 2 of these are from the brand called Moonshot. Moonshot is actually YG's brand, YG Entertainment's like makeup brand. It has some pretty good stuff. Korean packaging is superior, honestly. This is the Moonshot Micro Setting Fit Cushion. This is more for mattifying, setting. This is not as dewy. This is the shade 301. This is more for absorbing your oils, keeping you kind of set throughout the day. I would say it has pretty full coverage. Definitely targeted people that have oily skin, and they're not looking for a powdery finish per se, but more of like a set, clean finish. I actually really like this one. This was a good balance of not getting dewy, but not drying up completely. I would say out of the 3 of them that I have, it melded into my skin the least. But it still looked natural, but it has pretty high coverage. All of these have pretty high coverage actually. And then the second one is the one that I actually used in my bubblegum K-pop video. It's the Pony Effect Glow Stay Cushion. And this, as you saw, it's extremely glowy. I was so shocked at how glowy this is. Like, I don't know if you won't be able to tell. One of the claims is that it kind of gets glowier throughout the day, and it really, really does. Like, it can be borderline oily, but I was so shocked. It really looked so radiant, which I liked, but I realized I need to use it more on the outsides of my face and places that I can get dry rather than places that I get oily. So I don't put it like in the forefront of my face. I kind of stick to the outer corners. I'd also like to say the smell of this is immaculate. Obviously, if you don't like fragrance, you're not gonna like this because this is pretty heavily fragranced, but it smells like the Tony Moly Peach hand cream, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. That junk smells so good. And this is in the shade 3 Vanilla, number 3. And then lastly, this is the one that I'm actually gonna put on today. This is the Moonshot Micro Glassy Fit Cushion. If the Pony Effect leans almost a little too dewy, and if the Moonshot leans more matte slash setting, I wouldn't even call it a matte. You'd call this a natural finish in America. It's not very mattifying, but if we were to put it that, this is the perfect in between. I actually love this one a lot. I think I love this one the most. It has just such the perfect dewy finish, and it stays dewy throughout the whole day, has really, really great coverage. It doesn't get too oily, it just has the prettiest radiance to it, and it lasts pretty much all throughout the day. All of these actually last pretty long and throughout the day. I recommend any of these, and these are all really, really, really good brands. Just wanted to talk about them. And then in comparison to my M Cosmetics one, they're all actually really different. I thought I'd be able to compare them, but this has such a sheer tint of coverage, and it's more marketed as like a skincare, makeup hybrid, while these are medium to full coverage foundations. And I already prepped my skin with everything, and I used my Milk Hydro Grip primer because I'm trying to finish that up, and I'm gonna go in with the Moonshot in Micro Glassy Fit. Shade range is Guitar Beige, but the thing is, in Korea, you're not gonna see that many people darker than me. Like all of these, this isn't the darkest shade. These are all the 300 level. So in Korea, it's usually like 100, 200, 300, or 1, 2, 3, or 21, 22, 23. Sometimes you'll see a 27. But for the most part, you're not gonna see any darker than like a 3. And even a 3 sometimes is stretching it. Well, that's how pale Koreans are in general. Like you're not gonna see that many people darker than me. But in general, everyone is trying to get up 3 shades lighter than they were. If Korean makeup brands want to start to have a more international reach, which they most definitely could, and it's on the rise for sure. They're gonna have to bring out more shades, or else it's just like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Like literally, how am I the darkest? I'm freaking light to medium here. Makes no sense. But anyways, see, like this is still pretty pale. I can make it work, but it's still pretty pale. Wow. But look at this coverage. It's so good. These cushion foundations are so much more affordable than the few that are on the market in America. Because I know Dior has one, M Cosmetics has one. I don't even think Laneige has one on the American market. If you want to test try a foundation, a cushion foundation, I'd highly recommend you try a Korean one if you can find your skin shade. Anyways, so that was my foundation. Not too full coverage, but you can still see a little something, but you can most definitely build it up. I'm not going to because I just don't want to. Like, I don't mind seeing a little, my gems. I don't mind that. Okay, I look pretty pale. They gave me this super cute contour shading stick by iMeme multi-stick. This is in the shade 001 bronzer. I will say it's very, very natural and it almost blends out to nothing. I don't know if you can even see that. And I'll compare it to the Fenty matchstick that I have in the shade Mocha. Mocha is a lot more cooler toned. This has a little bit more of a warm tone. This I feel like would be more for warmth than it is for like shading, just because the color is pretty warm toned. But this blends out super easily. I've actually used all of these before just to test them out and form my opinion on them. So no new impressions here actually. It's really subtle, right? I actually kind of like that. I just wish it was like a tinge cooler. But besides that, I think this is actually really, really nice, easy to use cream product. And it's much more glidey and buttery than the Fenty one. So I think that makes it a little bit easier to use. I'm gonna powder my face really quickly. Just using my good old Stay Matte. And I'm actually just hitting like right around my eyes and around the places that I get oily because I want to keep the dew that this offers. So I'm going into the Love Some blusher by MacQueen. This was also gifted to me by Stylevana. It's so cute. This is in the shade Apricot Peach. It's super pale though, or like really flush of pink, so I go kind of heavy-handed, but perfect. I love going heavy-handed with blush. So anyways, I thought about some other reasons why cushion foundations may not be a thing in America. Makeup is very interesting because I feel like formulation and innovation wise, I think like Japan and Korea has really innovative products. I mean, skincare, Korea was like 10 years ahead, you know, and now I feel like the Western culture is like, oh yes, sunscreen, very important. In terms of trends, I feel like America and the Western culture sets a lot of the makeup trends. So I go back and forth about like who's actually setting the trends. I mean, I guess everybody is. Maybe cushion foundations are a trend, but they've been in Korea for millions and millions of years. And I think the main reason that it's so popular in Korea is because Koreans are always touching up their makeup. If you're a high schooler, you're taking this to school and then in between class, you're going back to the bathroom and you're putting this on. You go into Hagwon, you go into after school, you're taking this in your bag and you're putting it back on. If you're at work, you just had a meeting, or before your meeting, you're going into the bathroom and you're putting this back on. I don't know, it's not just Koreans. I don't want to keep saying Koreans. In Korean society, it's gotta be looking put together at all times, and I think that's just leaked into every generation. I don't think it's really healthy at all. You need something portable, you need something on the go, and you need something constantly all the time. And how perfect. Like this comes with the sponge or cushion inside, and all you need to do is bat it on, and then you can just leave. Here, I feel like, yeah, I mean, people touch up, but it's like their lipstick, you know? But I think Koreans have perfected the base because their skin is so great. So I feel like, oh my gosh, I love this blush so much. This reminds me of the Fluffy Peach one that I'm almost out of from Chungkybar. Yeah, no, this is so cute. But I'm gonna do my eyebrows and I'm gonna be right back. My brows back on using my good old Anastasia from my Project Pan. And I'm actually making really good progress on this. And I finished my M Cosmetics one, so that's my favorite one. So I'm just using this. So I'm going in with another gift from Stylevana, and this is the Coringco Shabang Shabang Eyeshadow Bar Palette. The eyeshadow bar palette in the shade Shining Light. This is so cutesy bootsy. And the shades are perfect, right up my alley. You have these nice more mauve-y pinks. You have that nice shining red, a more base, but it's actually still leaning pretty pink, and these two really pretty toppers. I love this. I love this so much. I already tried it. I'm gonna first go in with this more muted pink. Now that I'm thinking of it, more than why are cushion foundations a thing, it's like, why are cushion foundations a thing everywhere else but here? Because I don't really know. Oh, another thing too is like, I feel like cushion foundations many times are associated with like lighter coverage. But that's not necessarily true. Like I showed you, these are pretty full coverage. So I feel like that's also a reason that it's just not as popular. And I think it was never like properly marketed here. I don't know, and I kind of hope they do become a thing here because I want to see like a Maybelline cushion. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Now I'm gonna go into this more mauve-y pink on the mid to outer, but staying lower. And I also think with this new Rise, because of the pandemic of staying at home and like going the more glowy natural route, this is a great entry point for cushion foundations. And I feel like M Cosmetics really took advantage of that, and they released their cushion at the right time. Because they're refillable, it's less packaging, so it's more sustainable. Like all of these come with refillable packaging, and you just pop out the bottom once you're done with it, and then you can just replace it. And a lot of the times when you buy the cushion foundation, they'll come with a refillable package. So now I'm gonna go in with this, with the darker shade right here. I'm gonna go back into that mauve-ier pink shade and have that be more of my under eye color. Go back into the lightest shade and kind of blend everything out. Go into this more brownie topper shade, and I'm gonna do the mid to outer. And now I'm gonna go into this super shiny one that on the, oh, this is pretty intense. And I'm gonna pack that lightest one on my lower lash line as well, and in my inner corner as well. Yeah, just like that. Wow. Go into this red shade. Just gonna hit this on my lower lash outer line just to spice it up a tiny bit. They also gave me a mascara. This is from Heimish. This is the Heimish Daily Gym Smudges Top Mascara. But it's not waterproof, so it doesn't actually keep my lashes up, but it does elongate them a lot. So I'm gonna do my first coat with my BanilaCo just so I can make them stay up, and then I'll do my second coat with the Heimish. So this is just with one coat of the BanilaCo. I'm trying to keep it as light as possible so that I can show you the full effect of the Heimish one. Has a bit of a different wand. It's more curved, and the formula is a little bit more wet, but it really coats my lashes really evenly. And this is with both of them. Just a lot like longer and fuller. I would agree with that claim. It does not smudge at all. So here are my lashes. I just hope that they stay up because I used mostly the Heimish one to add that extra va-va-voom. So last is my lips, and I'm going in with the Mamonde Creamy Tint Color Balm Intense. Oh my gosh, this expired last year. See, this is what I'm talking about, and I have so much of it left. Oh, sweet heavens. This is a matte lip balm, so it's not a balm. It's very matte though, so I'm just gonna kind of color on the inside and smudge it out. Okay. Wow, lips really do something. I was looking a little iffy before. This is the final look. Let me zoom. So this is the eyes, just really cutesy bootsy. I really like this eyeshadow palette like a lot. I actually like the red. I think it adds like a nice pop. This is the cushion foundation. I mean, I just put it on, I know. And it doesn't look that glowy because I powdered. And these are the lips. Nice and cute. Like just a nice wash of color. And the blush. I love the blush, and the shadow stick provided a little bit of contouring. I think this is a very like easy everyday look. The red spices it up, but I know it could be a little bit too much for some people, not for me. I love it. I really like all of the products. I especially love the cushion foundations that they gave me. Some cushion foundations can feel very, like it's like any foundation, it can feel very second layery almost, but I'm telling you, Korea is far advanced in some ways. Like the puff is so good, the way that it pushes into the skin, so delightful. The packaging, divine. It's either so cute, so classy, so sleek. This video isn't really about telling you why they're not a thing. I'm actually just asking, why aren't they a thing here in the good old US of A? I don't know. Somebody please tell me, because I don't know. That's it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and be a subscribo if you want to. As always, be nice to your parents. Wear a motherfucking mask. Ain't that difficult. And tell me, why aren't cushion foundations a thing? Why? Okay, that's it. Bye. That was a good bye.